Hello, and welcome to episode 181 of the Book Wars Pod.
Bow, bow.
I keep forgetting to do it. That's the problem.
This is the key part of your job, sir.
I know I'm working on. There are so many like
Too many
things,
buttons.
Keeper
and
of
I
air
don't
horn.
know half of the references, but I'm trying my best to be like, yeah, no, this would be cool. But if I use like a quote in the wrong place, then I look like an asshole. So there's like double pressure.
I don't know. I think that adds to the comedy of it.
I agree.
Personally.
I mean, honestly, half of it's just like shitty. I think you should leave quotes.
Is it that?
It's
I don't know
not.
about quite.
Kristen never added the I think you should leave drops that I asked her for.
What?
Not that I'm mad about
There's
it.
no whimsy. It's fine.
Do we not have this anymore?
I'm just
We never had them.
seeing a lot of
Yes, we did. There's a
Star
lot of
Wars snippets.
yeah.
Yeah.
We had nice.
Oh,
Okay, we did have
we
that.
did have that one. I think they're all from season 1, if any.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they're all from season 1.
I'm
That's
just
fair.
gonna try to do a new one each time, and I'm just gonna pick it random. I'm just gonna drop
I
it
like-
in. Yeah.
I like it. I love that.
That's fair. Speaking of I think you should leave, everybody listening should see Friendship. It's amazing.
Oh,
Um,
that's the new movie.
That's the
yes.
film. Yes.
Yes.
Burb, I know you don't actually like watch things, but Friendship's pretty funny if you ever feel so inclined.
It's like an hour and a half. I think you should leave sketch, and it works.
Oh
it
my
works.
God.
Yeah, it's good.
Anyway, I'm Chris. I'm here
On
If
I
you
think
haven't
you should leave
guessed.
pod.
on I Think You Should Leave Pod with Kate, Burb, and Devin. And we're here to talk about The Falling Star, chapters 12 through 22.
Nothing goes wrong.
Nothing goes wrong if you're the Nile. If you're not the Nile, it's not your best day. It's not your favorite day,
God.
as Han Solo might say in a really weird bit of dialogue
In a video game.
in a video game.
Yep.
What?
It's fine.
Correct.
Okay.
It's all fine.
That's too deep of a deep cut for.
Yeah.
The
just
number
go
of
with it.
times Kate and I will just look at each other and be like, this is not my favorite day. From this like I don't think there's 10 other people in the world who would understand that reference without it being explained. But if you're listening and you're like, yes, I remember that extremely small part of dialogue in the Battlefront 2 campaign 10 odd years ago,
Oh my God.
then thank you. You're in the right place.
Listen.
And God help you.
Listen, part of what made it so memorable is that the voice actor who's playing Han, like in terms of like being a voice match, terrible choice. Does not sound like Harrison Ford circa
Yeah, it's really bad.
the 80s at all. Like it's just and you can tell he's trying really fucking hard to sound like Harrison Ford in the 80s, and he's just not getting it, man.
Yeah.
I don't love that.
I feel
It's-
really bad for him. Like, it's not necessarily a bad acting job, but like in terms of like, you know, verisimilitude, it's not doing it.
Yeah. Anyway, we are going to talk about The Fallen Star, or we could just talk about Battlefront 2.
No. I think
Hey,
we did
it's-
that already, actually.
It's topically relevant again because
Yeah, I think we did.
people like organized like a massive like Battlefront 2 playdate to try and get people to make Battlefront 3, which is never going to happen, not because it's a bad idea, but because EA just can do nothing but fumble the bag when it comes to Star Wars.
They put the
Didn't
woke in it.
Didn't EA also just like cut a ton of people?
Yeah, video games aren't actually going to exist in like 10 years. It's fine. I
Yeah.
mean, none of us will, so it's fine. Just
my-
like Starlight Beacon. Anyway,
Oh my god!
what are we all drinking?
I am drinking my favorite reasonably priced gin. This is the St. George Terroir green bottle gin. It tastes like pine trees, which either like if you're a gin drinker, you're probably really into that, and if you're not a gin drinker, you're like, oh my god, that sounds horrible.
If you're an IPA drinker, though, you could also be into it.
That's true.
I would be into it if I could drink gin, but my body says no.
That's fair enough.
Do you get ginny? We talked about tequila knee last week. I don't believe you were here, Burb.
I was not here. No, if I drink gin, it goes down and then it comes right back up.
Mm.
Ah, yes. I'm familiar with that phenomenon.
That's fair. When I drink tequila, I just like spontaneously become in pain.
There's just like, we get weird joint pain now that we're
Oh.
old. And so, yeah.
And it's just from tequila.
It's
It is
just tequila.
Exclusive.
Huh.
It's not mezcal
Mhm.
either,
Is
which is
it-
also weird. It's specifically tequila. I could
Is
not
it
tell you why.
That's
Joint pain, or is
wild.
it like? Do you remember when those, like 10 years ago, we were drinking that like hard root beer?
Yes.
That shit hurt my body so much. I think I had to have been allergic to it or something. I just would get like terrible stomach pain that like could not go away.
Oh, God.
Mine
Yeah.
is like muscle pain. Like my like back will
Oh.
like get extremely like sore near my shoulders. It's really weird.
Yeah, see, it for me it is joint pain. Like Jess makes fun of me because we're calling it tequila knee now. My knees hurt. I can't explain it to you. I wake up the next day, I'm like, fuck, my fucking knees hurt.
Oh, see, I get fun when I have tequila. I hate this for you guys.
It's okay, more tequila for Burb.
You know who wishes they had joint pain? Orla Durrani and Nib Asik.
Oh my God, can we get through what people are drinking first?
No,
Burb, what do you have?
because they're dead.
Oh, what the fuck?
I am still technically sick, so I am drinking water.
That is a good thing.
Thank you. I thought it was a good choice.
Responsible adulting. Devin, I see you have a cat.
Yeah. I have a cat. I also
Yes.
had some pomegranate tea, but then I ran out. And
Ooh,
so now I'm also just on water, which is also very good. So
listen.
Health.
water's a good thing.
Although, Burb, I did want to say, I binge watched The Pit, and I get
Yes.
it. Like, I get it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Is it? We can talk offline. I'm wondering if we
Yes.
should watch it while high. If we should just like binge it while high.
The
we
second
can talk
time,
offline.
maybe.
Yeah.
Don't do that if
Okay.
you are not familiar with her.
Oh, that's
Okay.
true. There is.
Okay.
It's a lot.
Okay.
Okay, fair.
That answers the question for sure.
Fair. We'll stick with White Lotus then.
I have to
That's
be-
our current high watch.
I
and
have
it's
to be
phenomenal.
very intoxicated to watch White Lotus because while it is very well written and acted, I cannot deal with any of these characters. They are all horrible people and they
That's
make
so
me want
true.
to pull my eyeballs
That's so
out. They're
true.
all so
Absolutely.
bad. Anyway,
It's just like Succession. Like there's no good people in the entire show.
just all whiny white
and you
people.
just need to accept that.
Most of them.
Also,
Most of them are white.
why I had to give up The Righteous Gemstones, which it's
Ooh.
excellent show, but I can't continue to see them win in a way
Mm.
that just fundamentally hurts me to my core. So
That's fair.
I get it.
I don't know how it's ending. I don't know
Yeah.
what the finale was, but I hope it was
You
good.
can,
Yeah.
you can Google that. That's what I do.
So how long do we think until Walton Goggins makes it into a Star Wars? Because he's in like everything else these days.
Is he not already in one?
Shockingly, I'm not aware, unless he was like surprise in Skeleton Crew, which we still haven't watched. Jedi Master Walton Goggins. Anyway, I'm drinking scotch. I am drinking from. It is literally called A Tale of Ice Cream from Glenmorangie, and it literally is like scotch that tastes like ice cream. Now, I say that, and you would think it sounds terrible because I thought it sounded terrible because you're like, ew, it's like flavored scotch, like it's never going to be good.
Which is why you dropped like a bunch of money on it.
Well, I had tasted it first.
Jesus.
I had tasted it and had my eyes opened. So it's actually just like this like beautifully well blended, super vanilla-y, like not too sweet. Because as listeners of the show know,
Chris
I famously hate
hates
bourbon because it's too sweet.
Whiskeys.
I'm
Bourbon
not a
is
fan of a
yes.
sweet whiskey,
Okay,
but this
I digress.
it literally tastes and smells like ice cream, but it's scotch and it's delightful. I went to a like scotch tasting thing with like some person on Glenmorangie's marketing team. So it's delicious.
Fancy ass motherfucker. We were having craft night.
my
Devin
God.
and I. We were having knitting. We were doing knitting and
No, I'm
shit.
pretty sure you were on a plane at this
Was
time.
I on a? Maybe. Who knows? Whatever. Doesn't matter.
Either way.
It's
Anyway,
funnier to say I was knitting,
Did
but
you-
go on.
Did you not like Scotch, or is it just bourbon that you don't like?
it's just bourbon that I don't like.
Because it's cloying.
Exactly. I like Scotch. There are some Scotches that I don't love because
Sure.
they can also be sweet and a little bit one note. But good Scotch is great.
Shit, I gotta buy some bourbon. I'm out.
I've got half a bottle of Elijah Craig you can have. Just come visit. Because I never drink it.
What? Check a bag to Denver so I can take half a bottle of Elijah Craig.
Definitely don't just spend $35 on your own full bottle of Elijah Craig.
I can spend $35 on like a full bottle of a local whiskey because I live in Portland. I'm insufferable. That's how we operate.
No, that's fair. I have 2 bottles of local whiskey in our bar cabinet right now, and the only reason it's not 3 is because I recently finished one. So
Oh yeah.
If it
You're
helps,
good.
Happy-
you'd also be paying for like the experience and the friendship, as well as half the bourbon.
it's true.
Okay.
Oh,
Or
well,
you
okay,
could not even
maybe.
worry about checking the bag, and you could just drink the bourbon while you're here.
Ooh.
I could do that.
You could.
Unfortunately, my friend trip to Denver this year was canceled because somebody decided to go to Morocco instead.
Yeah, that is on us.
Yeah, our
That's-
bad.
we did have like dates planned for Burb to come visit, and then
we're like, ah,
several months later
shit.
texted her and we're like, so have you bought tickets yet?
How mad would you be if?
We're great friends. Anyway, before we talk about other great friends like Stellan Geos,
What the fuck?
Fucking.
for this book, the cause that we're supporting is Stop Ice Raids Alert Network at stopice.net. The purpose of the Stop Ice Raids Alert system is to provide emergency alerts and support for those targeted by ice raids. You can text report to 877-322-2299, so that way you don't have to have the app on your phone, so that the fucking Gestapo can get mad at you for it.
There, in fact, is no app.
There
There is
you go.
only the
There isn't even an
website.
app. There's only a website and a number.
So they can't find. So yeah, they cannot find it on your phone.
So yeah, recommend supporting them if you're able. Let's talk about how much we hate Stellan Geo, shall we?
Oh my fucking lord, he really is the worst though.
He's
Like holy shit.
That is
Like,
kind of
listen-
whole
The
point
Church
this
of
book.
Fuck Stellan Geos is growing member by member.
I like listen. I know like I know he sucks. I'm well aware of the fact that he fucking sucks. But you were like going real hard on just being like, this guy is the worst person I have never met. And I was just like, this seems just like maybe even a touch too harsh for Chris. And then I kept reading, and he just went straight down the toilet of being like a decent human being. He's just out here like roasting Avar for, you know, risking her life out there. She could come back dead for all he fucking knows. He stole her fucking job, and and she gets back to Starlight, and instead of being like, oh thank God the Nile didn't kill you, he's just like, I stole your job, motherfucker.
Well, since some of us didn't want to stick around.
Oh my God, it was so bad. I was like, it was astonishingly fucking bad. Okay,
Are Jedi allowed to say "I told you so"?
I don't know, man.
I don't know. Stellan Geos really said, "I'm the fucking captain now."
Yeah, he
Like-
absolutely did. Right before Starlight exploded.
Some fucking captain, am I right? Jesus.
He's yeah.
I really love being flushed down the toilet of decency as an image, though. So thank you for that. I love that. But yeah, so Stellan, there's a lot, and listen, to be fair, he's dealing with a lot. He has bad dogs on board. Is that what we've decided to call them for the moment? Bad dogs.
That's what I'm calling them.
The
Okay,
leveler, the
can I-
levelers. He has them
For-
on board. They don't mix. Sorry, go ahead, Britt.
For a brief recap for mostly me, but also maybe somebody skipped the episode last week because I don't know. We've seen the levelers before. They're like the right?
Yeah, they're the things that crispified Load and Great Storm.
Yeah.
In Rising Storm.
Okay.
Mhm.
That's the
so-
only
yeah,
time
so
we've seen
that's-
them, though. So we were
that's the
not aware
one-
that there were multiple until this.
Not eating everybody, but like kind of eating
Ooh,
everybody.
Like they're like eating their like life force or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was looking at the outline. I got confused.
It's a
'cause,
fair
like
question.
they don't actually like call them out by name in the book, which is deeply confusing.
They do not. So yeah, they were named as the Leveler. It whatever it is was named as the Leveler at the end of the Rising Storm, and in this book we're finding out that there's multiple. I think it said 4.
It's bad.
What?
news, fucking bears.
It's 4 now?
I think
I
it
thought it was
said
just
4.
2. Oh fuck.
I thought it was like a general swarm of energy.
Oh.
Is it like a
4?
specific thing?
I mean, what a great. We don't actually know.
Okay, so levelers do fuck. This was my question. Okay, great. Thank you. All right, go on. That's all I needed. All right, I'm done with this book.
Yes, Kate has gotten her Wikipedia answer. She's good. She doesn't need any more.
Levelers and geode.
And Geode.
Yo, they restocked the Geode fuck stickers, and I got the last 3 because they sold out within 48 hours.
Do we have a point on this in the outline? I want to just put it
Um,
down for the record that the amount of time in this section that people were getting fucking upset about Geode flirting with
Oh no, it's in there.
literally everyone.
Don't worry, it's a point for sure.
Okay. Clearly did not read the outline that you so lovingly prepared for us.
Good
job.
Geode is the rock.
Yes,
Yep.
correct.
Okay. Yeah. All right. You're saying
you're not
like,
missing
yes,
anything.
Yes, correct. Like I'm just supposed to internalize that a rock is doing this, but I
He's a
appreciate that this works for y'all, even though I'm just like, so
Yeah. No, can we please stop the rock from fucking everything that moves? Is a real thing that is part of Star Wars canon.
Every,
just a- big slab that teleports.
I have to admit that every new thing that I learn about Star Wars makes me like inch a little closer to like, oh, I should find my way in.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Kate, I'm gonna be honest, that was not the word starting with SL that I thought you were gonna say to describe Geode.
What the fuck were we talking about that had any relevance to anything?
So we were
Not
talking about how
shaming Geode.
I didn't do anything.
we were talking about
Fuck.
how Stellan is not at his best, and also he just like is paralyzed by indecision and cannot do anything without checking with the Jedi Council, and it's also like, without the Jedi Council, who am I?
Like, okay, there's one thing about like, listen, Stellan, granted, is having a no good, very bad day after a run of very good, no good, very bad days with the Nile, and I understand that, and also. You told your childhood friend to get absolutely fucked? What is wrong with you? Like, you've known this person
hot
for 40
take.
years.
Stellan is a fucking Capricorn. I am so sorry.
You might be onto something there.
I buy it.
The rules.
I don't know astrology, but I am familiar
He loves
with.
rules. He
The
can't
rules.
do it without a structure.
It's true.
He's kind of a dick.
Yeah, which Orla calls him out on repeatedly, and again, towards the beginning of this section, she's just straight up just like, are you even anything? Are you a person, or are you just like this like empty vessel for all the Jedi Order to pour their like idealistic hopes and dreams into, so that you can just like not be a human being and care about nothing actually.
No original thoughts, no
Uh-huh.
feelings, just instructions.
Yeah.
Who is the bigger droid, Stellan or 4-5?
Happy
Oh,
Pride.
4-5.
4-5 is so excited that Starlight is blowing up.
Oh, he's so cute though.
He's doing such good work.
He is the puppy of droids.
He just, you know what? He takes joy in his work, and that's more than I could say about a whole lot of. Oh my god.
That's true. 4-5 is not just in it for the paycheck.
The other thing I want to point out is that Stellan really just thinks he's like somehow like this absolute fucking genius. He's just like, the Nile aren't that smart. They're not going to do this, that, and the other. And I'm like, they just like systematically and catastrophically like broke an entire space station. What do you at this point? What do you think that they can't do? Like, you
Let's
fucking
go
fuck.
Moon.
Right? And like let's be honest. What victories have the Jedi actually had against the Nile?
They had cleanup jobs.
Literally nothing.
Yeah, like okay, they ambushed Pan-Eta and took out his Tempest. Cool, 1 in a row. That's pretty much it.
Well, that's because Pan-Eta is actually stupid.
I was like,
It's also true.
Pan-Eta is not exactly like a
Like well,
crime.
that would never happen to Lorna D, for example.
I wouldn't be proud of that.
I mean, Lorna D, who is implied to be on board the Ataraxia captured.
She's fine.
I mean, we'll
haven't
find
you
out.
heard
but-
she's the Eye?
Except she's
That's
not.
what they call him, right? Yeah.
Yes. That is what they call him, notably not Lorna D. Good old Lorna D.
Anyway, we got to the end of like reading the section that we did for this episode, and I really thought that Stellan was about to get Et, and that did not actually happen. He only got a little bit Et.
He got
And-
real close.
Yeah, he did get real close, and yet
Real
he didn't
close to
get
getting
there.
that.
And I'm just like, my girl Orla had to get crispified, but like die in the worst fucking way possible. And this guy just gets to like, I don't know, sweat a little bit and have a panic attack. Come on, man.
Also, poor Burry. Could we just like pour one out for Burry? Burry's
Oh
having a
my
really bad day.
God.
Terrible time.
This poor baby. I
He's
don't-
just the best. He's the best Wookiee.
I don't support Wookiee suffering. Period. Like at all, ever.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I am bereft for him. I think the only Wookiee who's having a comparable like it's Chris. I know you love your adolescent Wookiees, so I can't imagine it.
God, if Gunji ever came up against a leveler, I would actually kill myself.
Oh my god.
Shout out to Gunji, a real one.
Oh my god. All right. So next point is not necessarily about Stellan, but is related, so we can continue Stellan bashing, as is good and proper. So we're getting some interesting perspectives on multiple crisis management. I was like, wow, this is a lot. So first of all, we have Stellan and Orla debating whether they tell everybody else on this sinking space station that it is in fact sinking and everything is terrible, or whether you keep it quiet until you have a plan. And I'm like, listen, I see both sides, and also I'm inclined to be like, but what if there is no plan? Like, what if there's just not going to be a plan? I feel like people should...
Surprised you're fucking dead.
Yeah, I right. Which seems like a not great thing to do. I don't know. How did you feel about this?
I really, continuing on the subject of Stellan continuing to think he's God's gift to being a Jedi, him being like, it took us all these droids to figure out that the station is sinking. No one's going to figure it out by themselves. Meanwhile, Leox's figuring it out with a goddamn protractor.
I liked Leox a whole lot in whatever, which book was
Into
it?
the Dark, probably.
Yeah, I liked him a lot, and I really like him in this book. He's fantastic. Just like the nicest stoner like genius that you've ever met in your life.
I do love his like explanation of like, I mean, it makes sense. You were told shit didn't work. When the Jedi are told shit doesn't work, it probably doesn't work. When we're told shit doesn't work out in space, we either figure it out or we fucking die. So
Listen-
we usually figure it out.
Listen, man, having grown up in the hood, he's right. I was like, I relate to this. Chris is always just like, oh, this thing broke. Let's get a new one. And I'm like, just use duct tape, you fucking idiot. Like, you know, like it's that kind of thing.
This is true.
This-
I'll admit.
This hat conversation happens at least once a week. It's just like, why wouldn't you just do this? Oh. Anyway. So
Anyway,
there-
I totally forgot the point. I really just wanted to make that protractor joke.
It was, unfortunately, it was worth it.
I know it was really that possibly makes me more upset than Orla dying.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Um,
every single pilot's like just sitting in the hangar, like, oh, I see what's happening.
Mhm. It's
Like pretty quickly. Too.
I mean, it's not hard to look out the window and be like, that's not moving like it should be, you know, like whoop,
This planet's getting awfully fucking close.
I know. Oh my gosh. So one of the other things I noticed was going on in terms of crisis management is that the Queens of Irem are offering them help. They're just like, do you need us to send medical supplies as a government would do if they were being good people? And someone's like, no, we got this under control. I'm like, excuse me?
It's like,
What
no.
what about this is under fucking control right now? Like it's almost like he's hoping that the Jedi or the Republic at least has like a cleanup crew somewhere close enough by to rescue them so that he can once again just be like, oh look, we are all the Republic, we're saving the day. And it's just like, oh my god, like he wants it feels like he wants the photo op more than he wants the help.
This is also further proof that Stellan Gios is a Capricorn because somebody is like, she's literally on the space phone with him, like, listen, shit's going kind of bad, but we can like take some of you down to the server. We can like try to reverse whatever the fuck happened in the last book, where
Yes.
they had to take everybody off they're just doing the opposite. Pick it up, put him back down. And Stellan's like, I don't need your fucking help. I know what I'm doing. And then, like, very Ron Howard voice, Stellan did not know what he's doing.
No, Stellan is the this is fine dog.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
And like honest and like one of the only reasons that they have like any sort of, they being the people on Starlight Beacon, have any sort of connection to the outside world is because Irem was like, fuck it, we're sending our medical cruiser anyway. And they just pulled up next door and were like, hey, can you like send us a ping or something? Tell us you're alive. Give a droid some fucking speed and figure it out.
Oh my god, that was incredible, by the way.
Give droid some math.
Oh my god.
And
Okay.
he will get to space Paris without sleeping.
Oh my god. Listen, the way Claudia wrote that bit was fucking incredible. She is a genius. Just immaculate.
If I ever do cocaine, I'm just gonna be like, oh my, oh my, oh my, oh my, oh my, oh my.
Please don't do that. I'll kick you out of the house. I'll just kick you out of the house until you're done.
I was gonna say, for doing the cocaine or for reacting like that?
No, for being fucking annoying while
Okay,
you do
cool,
cocaine.
cool.
Like, just
Good.
go sit outside.
Just check where the boundaries are.
Yeah,
Got it.
right. Cool. Listen, if the neighbors like called an ambulance because they catch you tweaking, it's none of my fucking business.
They wouldn't do that. They'd be like, that's none of my business.
That's true. They're lovely. Our neighbors are great. All right. So the other thing that's going on is that there are too many things going on. So just to recap, what we've got is an explosion that is making the space station fall apart, split in half. Bad dogs running around unknown somewhere. The fact that there are Nihil saboteurs on board, and also, prisoners just like escaped and shit. A bunch of people injured in the sick bay, and a bunch of ships trapped in like the fucking docking area. So, just a small series of things. And I feel like most of what's happening is just like them trying to contain like everything that's happening with the, I don't know, the normals, for lack of a better term, all of these non-Jedi who are on board, who are injured or trapped or whatever. And it's one of those situations where it's like, if you don't help yourself, you can't really effectively help other people. So it's like, what if you figured out what was sapping all your force powers so then you could have your force powers back to help people? No, this is an order of operations that apparently does not make sense to anybody on board except for like Orla.
Yeah, much. I don't want to say this, but much like the current Democratic Party, they're focused on shitty messaging instead of fucking doing anything.
Yeah, and it's also very like reminiscent of the prequel era Jedi, where they're like, their problem solving is like only looking at the fires in front of them and not paying attention to what's causing the fires. And like it's very like, and same with the reaction. Like, you think about in how Attack of the Clones, like Mace Windu's like, we should probably tell the Senate that we can't actually see the future anymore. And Yoda's like, do we actually need to do that?
Orca, stop bothering the chinchilla. Oh my god. Sorry.
They were having a nice
I
playtime. It was
did
fine.
listen. Sometimes he like boops the cage, and then Merle's like, "Oh my god, don't do that." So
Merle's chill.
it's fine.
Merle, good boy, Orca. But yeah, so like, yeah, like it's very much the same. Where like Stellan's like, yeah, we'll tell them as soon as we like have a plan, and Orla's like, I mean, these people like are going to die. Like that is like
Yeah.
the facts as we know them right now is that every single one of these people is going to die. That might change when we get new information, but it also might not. So they might want to know that. And Stellan's
Also,
like, no.
just like way to be a fucking Jedi and assume that you're better than literally everybody. Like, we've touched on it already. People who spend their lives in space are very, like, smart and useful.
Yes, they're very savvy.
That's the word I was looking for. Like, they can figure stuff out. There's always some weird shit happening. We have all these fucking people on our big not spaceship. Why would we bother asking them?
Yeah.
Also, like, if you don't figure out a solution, you're still gonna fucking die anyway, and everybody's gonna figure it out first. There's gonna be a mass fucking panic.
No, and that's the thing. Like, you know, I understand like not wanting to cause a panic if you have a plan or some
People are gonna
hope that
panic
something is going to
anyway.
get better. Besides, hey, maybe our 911 calls will avoid the fucking communications blackout somehow. Like, Stellan doesn't actually have a plan other than we'll figure it out, and like that is like just such a level of arrogance that like he is betting the lives of everybody on that station on we'll figure it out. Sorry, I had to hiccup. Apologies for that. You can edit that out. But yeah, like it's, and you see that like again, and we've talked, and by we I mean I have talked a lot about how Stellan is like the poster child for like how the Jedi became such a failure, you know, 250 years from now, whatever it is in the prequel era. And like it's the same shit. It's like, no, the people don't need to know anything. The people are too stupid to know things. We need to control them. You know, it'll be bad for us if stuff gets out. And meanwhile, like people are literally dying, and you are fighting the fires in front of you and not asking, hey, why is all this happening, until the station literally splits apart. Or
Not
and
my
being like,
galactic
hey,
politics.
where did this clone army come from? This is an irrelevant question for us. They just
Don't-
appeared. We're going to use them.
Don't worry
This-
about it.
This hot dog has famously never betrayed me.
No, not again. I fucking hate you. Wow, that was man.
A deep cut to some of the early days.
Quite the throwback.
of our podcast.
That was upsetting.
I missed recording. This is fun.
Okay. Do we have any other Stellan bashing that we want to do for this particular topic before we briefly just dive back into some bad dog business? Okay. So, we have been talking. Why is one of the points under bad dogs just boop?
Because
Yes.
I wrote out a lot of stuff that was just me asking about the love letters / bad dogs, but then we already talked about it, and so then I deleted it, and then it didn't automatically go to removing A, and going straight to B, so I just wrote boop.
Boop indeed. All right. So I assume that at some point we're gonna get a little more information about exactly what types of havoc the levelers are wreaking during the course of this book. But one thing I wanted to point out is that like with every dead Jedi, it almost seems like they're getting better at this like life sucking thing. Like by the time they find Nib, they're like, you know, every single corpse is very recognizable as whoever this person was, but like they're like they were just going into the level of detail on this horrible dead body, and I'm like, oh well, that's eerie. So I don't know. It's like, is that a thing that's like they're getting stronger, they're getting better at sucking? I don't know.
Does like eating the Force make them stronger?
I
Are
mean,
those that are like fucking Wheaties?
I mean,
I don't. It's weird
I-
horse shit, and I don't understand what's
I
happening.
okay, so in a word, just my inference and extrapolation is yes. Because like they keep people keep encountering them and being like, oh, they're so hungry, and I'm like, they must, I don't know, this it's their food, right? So
I
they
also
just-
get hungry.
what the hell is wrong with you? I don't want to talk about this anymore. Next point. We have no other information about them.
But no, I mean, but I think it is very relevant and something that the Jedi are not really thinking about right now, because like they killed what was the name? Rigald?
Regald. Yeah.
Mangled.
Space Reginald.
The preschool teacher.
Space Reggie. They killed Space Reggie.
What? This is
And
disrespectful.
listen, Star Wars names are Star Wars names.
This is disrespectful.
I am
be
not
fair,
going to defend them.
Walton Goggins already a fucking Star Wars name.
That's true. That's an Earth human's name.
That's just
wow.
a cameo.
It's a better name than Yeet.
It is absolutely not a better name than Yeet. What are you talking
It
about?
is.
Yeet is a phenomenal name.
It's no fucking like Hack Rack Bebop or whatever the fuck it was.
Excuse you.
Bep.
Thank you.
Take that disrespect for Hack Rack Bep out of your mouth.
My only friend is Yeet.
Oh my god. But anyway, I remembered what I was gonna say. But yeah, like it is like things that we have learned about the leveler or levelers in this book. A, there's more than one of them. And B, they're
They fuck.
hungry. B, they fuck. C, they're hungry. And D, they seem to be getting more powerful. All of which are deeply, deeply bad for the Jedi.
So that is what I'm supposed to be reading into this, is that they're getting stronger.
I don't know that I read it that way, but I like the interpretation.
Like,
They
I don't know.
ate their Wheaties.
It's like they're perfecting their horrible art of just like, just like leaving all these like very delicate details so that when you poke it, it still turns into dust because they're dead. Like, like I'm just like, Jesus.
I will say, just adding my own forbidden knowledge of like some of Phase 2 and Phase 3 of the High Republic, I would say that is a very good interpretation of it that I totally missed in my first reading.
That's because I'm smarter than you.
I mean, famously.
Also, you don't know how to read.
Also famously.
Nobody on this podcast knows how to read.
I kind of know how to. Sometimes I know how to read. Occasionally. Like 25% of the time.
I mean, to be fair, it's like a low bar to be higher than all the rest of us.
Damn, okay, Jesus.
Rana can probably read.
Okay,
Rana's smart.
it's true.
Indeed.
Okay, so one more real point before I get into complaining about the Straits. And also just like fucking just like autism info dump about the Titanic. Because that's what's coming up for. So get excited. So one of the things I noticed that was really interesting to me in terms of just like plotting and putting characters in like high pressure situations to do character development type of stuff, I suppose, in a book. Crazy. Is that one of the things Claudia does is that she separates like a large cast of characters from some other characters that we're familiar with in the High Republic. So we know that Avar's like going out to find the Eye of the Nile, and she brings a team with her, and like going along with her are like Vernestra and Imri, and I assume that Skier and Keeve are also with her, etc. And at some point they obviously come back because that's when Stellan decides to just lord it over her that he took her fucking job. But still, they're in the upper half of the station, and everybody in this book who's a point of view character is in the bottom half of the station. So once they break into, like, there is like no hope of like reuniting these two groups of people. So I was just so one of the questions I had for y'all is just like, narratively speaking, like, what does that do for y'all? Why would we do this? Etc.
My first thought was like, well, obviously some of them have to fucking live.
Nah, this is a Claudia book.
Honestly, great point. I was like, nobody's died yet. So many people have fucking died already.
Lot of people have, like, Claudia has killed more named Jedi than like many of George Lucas's works.
And like point of view characters too, they just drop out. It's like, which, like, listen, I understand some people have to die, and also she, like, as a writer, she's juggling a lot. I swear to God, there are like 12 fucking like point of view characters. It's fucking nuts out here. But yeah, many
like,
dead people.
Yeah, like Space Reggie, like he was from the second he came onto the set all jovial, you kind of knew something was gonna burst his bubble a little bit.
But I
But,
like
like,
Space Reggie.
I mean, listen, we all love Space Reggie. That's the point of Space Reggie. But like, I mean, like Orla was like a named character in. Sorry, Kate is like pulling my hand away from my mic as I was trying to position it closer to my face.
Because when you do that, it makes the sticky noises from your sweaty ass hands travels into the microphone.
I don't think anybody but you notices that.
Listen, if you have like sensory issues, it's horrible.
Fair enough.
I know somebody who listens to this pod also has sensory issues, okay?
Fair enough. But like Orla was, to get back to my point, Orla is like a real character who like has had point of view chapters in not just this book, but also other books in the High Republic. And like she, like, her death isn't even like the culmination of this book. She dies solidly in Act 2.
Like smack in the middle of the book, actually, like page count wise. It's kind of nuts.
Yeah.
And also in the most horrible way possible. Listen, when Belle finds her, he's like, what is this thing in fetal position? Oh. Yeah, I agree. I agree, bro. Well, I want to talk about Belle more, but I feel like I have to get to the end of the book in order to have a complete picture to be able to talk about him.
Yeah, we're definitely going to talk more about Belle.
I love Belle though. I don't want to act like we're ignoring him on purpose.
Yeah. No, and to get to your kind of original question about like what is the narrative point about, like, we get like one Avar chapter and everything else is the bottom half of Starlight. I think that I don't think
it's not even an Avar chapter. It's like a third person omniscient. Or like
no,
section.
there's like one Avar chapter.
Have we not gotten to it yet?
No, we did.
No, I don't think
you skipped it apparently.
What the fuck is wrong with you? I don't think that's true. Where's the fucking book? I know you.
It's the one that involves famous Jedi Neuron Bakara Kana.
What?
I'm.
Oh.
Did I stutter?
That's his name. I remember that. I
Um,
don't know if it was her point of view necessarily, as like it was just anyway.
but anyway,
It was not close third.
the point
She
of
was
it is
just
that
there.
like, because this is like a cross media initiative, we are going to read other books and comics that tackle the other parts of Starlight and the people in them, and we're going to learn a lot more about what happened in those and what happened to everybody during and after. And I want to come back to this question after we finish phase 1 to see, like, did this add to the experience for you, or was it just annoying? Because I go back and forth. Particular, and honestly, that going back and forth like is like vastly like accentuated in phase 3, because phase 3 is even more like, it's not possible to read everything in order unless you like stop chapters midway through to go read a comic, and then stop the comic midway through to go pick up a different book, and listen to an audio drama and all that shit. Like, which like, and I'm really enjoying phase 3 for anybody who's listening. And listen, I'm not casting aspersions on the good name of the Luminous authors, but it's a lot. It's a lot to track, and I have problems and have tracked it pretty damn well.
I mean, to be fair, and in the spirit of the actual question that was asked, like it's kind of the point that we're only seeing it from the one side because like they don't know what the fuck is going on. We don't know what the fuck is going on. If you do it where like we're only getting half of the story, that's how it's supposed to be. We're supposed to be like in it with them. That's how reading works. Allegedly.
I wouldn't know.
Again, seems fake.
I also would not know. Reading comprehension who?
But no, that's an excellent point about kind of like the fog of war effect.
That's the bitch. Fog of war.
Can I ask a question about like this side of the franchise?
Yes.
Yes.
Do they tend to return back to like the same authors and creators, or is it like a kind of like a branch out and see who can write what type of thing?
So that's a yes and kind of answer. So this like whole High Republic project was announced at some Star Wars Celebration several years ago, and they specifically started with 4 authors who had written for Star Wars before, and their books have been pretty like well received, I would say, by whoever the fuck reads Star Wars books, not us. And as the project grew bigger, they kind of expanded it. So they brought in some other authors who had written for Star Wars before, but were maybe a little more under the radar. And then they also brought in some folks who had never written for Star Wars before, but had a pretty good like running history in terms of writing just their own independent stuff. So it's been like, it's kind of just been this like growing, evolving thing. And as it's grown and evolved, it's become more of a mixed bag, I would say.
Thank you.
And I would also say that like kind of like traditionally, at least in current canon, don't at me about Legends. I don't know, listeners. I don't know. But at least in current canon, it's been like a series of one-offs basically, or like a planned trilogy by one author. There's never been this kind of like cross media story like that. Like there's been like references like, oh hey, they referenced things that are going on in Battlefront 2 in the middle of Alphabet Squadron. That's neat. Which,
but it's
like,
not been like story critical.
Yeah, and have I nerded out over that shit? You bet your ass I have. But like it's very different this time around where they're like all sharing each other's characters and like writing one story as opposed to their own. And that was kind of like the point, I guess, of all the planning they did for this one, because they like made a big fucking deal out of it back when they first announced it. And now the last book is about to come out in like 2 weeks.
Which is nuts.
What a time to be alive.
I do not envy the increasingly like large mapping triangulation of like this person is here so they can't be over there, and this is happening in the timeline so this other thing can't, like I can't that that is like the kind of like plot sense making that I cannot do even for myself. It's just so
That sounds like a spreadsheet.
Does it?
It does.
Yeah.
It does
So-
though.
Given that I am someone who tracks a entire universe that is basically just that,
Yeah.
does it feel like Star Wars is, at least in the sort of narratological sense, becoming a little more like Marvel? Like, would you describe it as that?
Yes.
Yes, but yes, but I think the High Republic has been really well received. It's gotten a wider readership than even we thought would happen. We did a panel at Denver Fan Expo last year, and we filled the fucking room, which was fucking bananas. And we were just like, how many of y'all have actually read a book? And it was most people in that room, which was astounding. Which is, people are always just out here like reading is dead. Apparently it's not, which I think is wonderful.
I mean, that's a selection bias situation, but also
yes,
point
and
taken.
yeah, but like, we still managed to collect a number of people who had read a book in the past like year. That was crazy. But yeah, so I think Star Wars wants to be more Marvel-like in that there's like all this stuff crossing over between like film and TV and written media, and also they can the Acolyte for no fucking reason. So like what's the trajectory here? Is there a plan? I don't think Star Wars ever has a fucking plan because like it's just like, let me announce a movie, and then there's like, what movie?
Star Wars as a franchise is real. Never tell me the odds. Like,
God, that's so true.
Yeah, and it's also because this like was announced and planned very much at the height of like Infinity War and Endgame, and the height of like 10 years of work and creating this shared universe, and it paid off not just narratively but in terms of billions of dollars. And so they very much had the backing of not just Lucasfilm but Disney to have this and then have the Acolyte on top of it. They have now, because Disney has realized what normal people realized a decade ago, in that you will eventually run out of people to subscribe to your service and can't just continue exponential growth forever. It doesn't actually make a ton of financial sense to spend hundreds of millions of dollars on streaming show after streaming show after streaming show. And so they're just gonna say fuck it and cancel a bunch of stories that are actually really good. And that's what happened to the Acolyte. But yeah, and like it's kind of like Star Wars is very much in this in between space of like, we don't want to be a shared universe, but also we definitely do want to be a shared universe. And I don't think that that's a question they've fully answered yet.
There's no fucking plan. There's no plan. Is this Rey movie ever gonna come out? No.
No.
My money's on no.
No, no
No.
chance.
I
I
No
will
chance.
believe it when my ass is in the theater seat and I got some popcorn and I'm seeing it with my eyeballs. Like, seriously.
Absolutely no chance.
I get mad.
Yep. But yeah, and like, you know, on the one hand, like you have like Filoni doing his Filoni thing and The Mandalorian and Ahsoka, and like, and all of those shows are basically just the same story and just
Same
told under
show.
different banners. Like how Book of Boba Fett was literally what they were going to do for part of Mandalorian season 3, and then COVID happened, and they were like, we can make more money by doing a quick shoot of Book of Boba Fett, and that's how that happened. But then also like
I didn't know
Andor.
that. Oh my god.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
it's
like-
real bad.
What the fuck?
Yeah, that's why it's season 2. Basically, Book of Boba Fett is season 2.5 of Mando. It's
Oh, you're so right.
very
Yeah.
stupid.
That's why there's literally an episode in one of the like 7 episodes of Book of Boba Fett does not actually feature Boba Fett.
That's
This is fine.
I
my
digress.
God.
Also, key plot points about yoink, let me take my child back. But you know, whatever. It's
Yeah,
fine.
people
It's
come back to
fine.
Also,
Mandalorian season 3. When did Grogu get back?
yeah. Also, it wasn't like one of the. I did watch 2 whole seasons of Mandalorian.
Which is
wasn't-
nuts for you.
Genuinely shocked.
Wasn't one of the episodes literally like a backdoor pilot for Book of Boba?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
And you know, looking at other stuff, like on the flip side of that, like yes, Andor is technically connected because it's a prequel to Rogue One, but like tonally, Andor is completely separate from anything Star Wars has ever done before, and it's also the best thing that Star Wars has done,
Since like
arguably ever, certainly in
since the Last Jedi.
certainly since the last, yeah, like
Yeah, I was gonna say, isn't that why it's apparently very good?
yes. And so like again, like Star Wars can't really figure out what it wants to do, and I think also that's because Disney can't really figure out what it wants to do, because Disney is a publicly traded company that only at the end of the day cares about providing value for their shareholders.
So they canceled the show that got like the most viewers for Disney Plus ever.
Yes, literally. It's fine. It's all fine.
This is how money works.
Capitalism is fun.
Definitely not a plague. Anyway, what were we talking about?
Star Wars.
Star Wars.
People fucking in Star Wars.
Yes.
Geo
correct.
fucks.
Oh my god.
Geode absolutely fucks.
I only support
Undeniably.
Geode.
Actually, Geo does not fuck. It is explicitly said that he
That's true.
doesn't do thing with humanoids.
But he can mess around.
He flirts his
I don't-
ass off.
Okay,
It's
to be fair-
non-existent stone ass.
I'm not convinced Affy wasn't just saying that to like keep the husband from flying off the handle.
Oop.
Because
also fair.
she like leaves that conversation as like someone needs to have a talk with Geode. Like if he wasn't gonna fuck her, nobody would need to have a talk with
Oh
Geode.
my god, you're so right.
Great point.
Like it's like when you're at a party and like somebody is like hitting on this like person that your friend is into, and you're like, no, it's not, nothing's gonna happen, and then you like go up to that person and you're like, hey, like, can you like, you know, go get a drink? Like it's very much like Affy is playing the peacemaker, and then like behind the scenes being like, yo, we need to like get Geode handled.
This has never
I'm-
happened to me because I don't get involved.
Geode's a horn
I'm
dog.
too autistic to like
I know, right?
to have that interpretation of like her responding to Geode and for that fucking example.
Yeah, I relate to that, Burb.
But I
Burp.
do believe it.
Herb, would you understand it more or less if somebody had read Geode poem?
Okay.
Sorry, we can move on from that. I
Okay.
just really I wanted
First
to
of all,
twist the knife a little bit
Geode
for Burb.
would be reading the poem.
That's very true.
Full stop.
100%
Geode writes
true.
his own poetry.
Yes.
Leave me alone. That's not even the fucking I was thinking of a more recent example, but
Oh God.
Geode's out there
We'll
putting
save that for
his
the end cap.
Jesus.
imaginary hand on people's legs, and they're like, he's being nice.
He's just a buddy. You, the rock she told you not to worry about.
Okay, but that is Geode, though. I'm not gonna lie.
That is Geode. Hell yeah.
Okay, but also I only support Geode rights because everybody else who may or may not be fucking in this book is fucking gross. Like, we haven't
Correct.
gotten around to completely gotten around to Elzar being fucking like, oh my god. I just like him just like remembering them like fooling around when they were young.
He's like on his whole ass, like, let me reconnect to the Force journey. And all I can think of is like,
Boobies.
we fucked. Like,
Avar's
terrible.
boobies. So that's good. Even worse than that, in my personal opinion, is just like Gira getting taken in by Markian Rogue trying to seduce her to get her to do things, and I'm just like,
absolutely fucking not.
I was just like, that man is the most like, he's more of a rock than Geode is. Like, you know, like that guy doesn't fuck. And so I'm like, what's
Okay,
happening?
to be fair, we have not yet gotten to the part of the timeline where we experience Hot Marky and Row art in the comics.
Excuse me?
What?
What?
I said what I said.
Also, full on like shout out to like the one other person on the spaceship with him who has to like fucking watch this happen.
Man,
But also is like, I'll keep her across the ship from you, and he's like, yes, you've anticipated my needs.
she's such a great, like, she's very purposefully like a very flat character, and she likes it that way. And
Also a Capricorn. Maybe not a Capricorn, but she's got some Earth sign energy.
yeah, for sure. Like, she wants to be the flattest character of all time, and I'm like, that is very interesting. I have rarely seen that in any fiction. So yeah, I kind of want to see more of her. She's very interesting. All right.
We do love, we do begrudgingly love Nazi Secretary Thea Fair.
All right.
It's fine, don't worry about it.
Okay, can I info dump about the Titanic now?
Go for it.
Please.
Okay, so I was really only like thinking about this because the fucking BBC documentary about Ocean Gate came out this past weekend, and I got so intoxicated and watched it. But you know, I'm thinking I do wonder how much Claudia Gray was inspired by the timeline of the Titanic disaster when she was writing this, because it like there's like a surprising amount of similarities if you really think about it. So
It break in half.
yes, obviously it breaking in half. You know, the Titanic was this very celebrated symbol of like human ingenuity. It was like the first like ocean liner that like catered to luxury, I guess. And Starlight Beacon definitely is just like, it's not just a space station, it's like a cultural center sort of situation.
Famously unsinkable.
Yes, exactly.
Can't sink in space.
Towable through
Except you
hyperspace,
can,
but-
as we have learned. But
yes,
I don't think
towable
you
through
can.
hyperspace, but not sinkable. You know, obviously we have it like plummeting toward the Earth, and people know that like we are within a few hours of probably dying. And there are just so many trapped people. There are no operational escape pods, and help is hours and hours away. And they are and once they finally figure out that they can get comms out, they're just like begging for help, and everybody's like, we're like all the way over here, and we would have to jump through hyperspace least 16 times to get to you. So
Hope you fix your car. Bye.
right. So yeah, I haven't read any of the interviews or anything that go along with the High Republic books. There's a lot of press about it that I don't know. I just have lived my life without reading it. So like I honestly have no idea but you know where Claudia's head was at on this, but I was just like, this would be very interesting though. I kind of like enjoy it as a like, I don't know, the Titanic in space sort of situation.
Yeah, I mean, and it's a great like play on the like entirely able to anticipate this disaster. I was like trying to find a word and I don't think it's a real word. It's like it's a disaster that is entirely foreseeable, but not by the people in it. And like, and that's a trope that like honestly, like it's very much like I don't know the history of fucking literature enough. This is Kate's era, but like the Titanic fits into that trope, and like it, and that's why they made it a movie, because it fits into that trope of like
Is that why they made it
human
into a
hubris.
movie?
Huh?
Is that why they made it into a movie?
Because it's a good story.
That's not what you just said, but okay.
I mean, they made it into a movie because James Cameron literally wanted money to go see the Titanic at the bottom of the fucking
I mean,
ocean.
that's
but
also, they made it into a movie for several reasons, many of them James Cameron related. But yeah, like, so yeah, like I think it is like an excellent play on that theme that like very much ties into like the Titanic and other disasters.
other disasters, but also like I was just like tracking the timeline. It's very interesting if you're me and you think too hard about everything. So anyway.
And I mean, also, if you think about the Titanic, it was like very much kind of like the pinnacle of the Gilded Age in a lot of ways. Like it was.
That's what I fucking said.
Yeah. Okay, I'm done.
Fuck you, Chris.
Anyway, thanks for listening to this episode. This actually is the end of the outline. I'm not just rage quitting. Thank you for listening.
I'm rage quitting.
This episode of the Book Wars Pod. Next episode, we're going to be finishing The Fallen Star by Claudia Gray, reading chapter 23 through to the end. But don't worry, everybody. It does have a happy ending, as I like to say.
I'm sure no one else will die.
Fucking playbook. Fuck off.
It absolutely has a happy ending. We'll talk about it next week. Tune in. If you have the means, first and foremost, donate to Stop Ice Raids Alert Network at stopice.net. Then if you just want to light money on fire in this economy, that's your choice, and you can donate to the Tosh Station Radio Patreon or give us coffee. Both of those help cover our hosting and production costs. You can do them either at patreon.com/ToshiStation or ko-fi.com/bookwarspod. On Patreon in particular, if you join the $2 a month tier, you can watch us stream twice a month where we are playing various games. I don't know what we're playing this month. We'll figure it out.
Playing Chris.
There's a lot going on.
And of course, kind thoughts for all of our wonderful children are free. For Argos, Blue, Flix, Magenta, Merly, Orca, and Tony, thank you to whoever alphabetized this.
I forgot about
That's
that.
wonderful.
Pretty sure it was Rana because it was just driving her insane.
I'm almost positive you're right.
I love her so much.
Our theme song is Whiz Bang by Poddington Bear. Our logo and artwork are by Joe Butera Design. And our audio and production are done by soon-to-be Dr. Producer Devin Keys.
We're going to keep saying it. We're manifesting.
Yes.
I appreciate it. It's very kind.
Yes.
Yeah.
I also really just enjoy saying Dr. Producer Devin Keys.
You know, I would like to like saying it too, but I feel like I gotta get there first.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I respect it. We won't make you say it until it actually happens.
I appreciate all of this. It's very nice.
Thank you all for listening. From all of us, Kate, Miranda, Devin, Rana, all the pets that I mentioned. I'm Chris. I'll talk to you next week.
Blech, blech.